In this episode of Comic Book Savant, we will talk about the first 3 episodes of the Titan series on the DC Universe streaming service. Welcome back to the Comic Book Savant YouTube channel. I'm your host, James Harris. I've talked about previously the DC Universe streaming service. I did my first impressions. I did a first impressions video talking about what my feelings were for the service when it just launched about a month ago. I did say I wanted to revisit the topic when the first of their original content started to drop, which has now, with the Titans television show, which is the real main original content piece they have of the launch of the service that everyone was kind of waiting on. So the first month, like I said, you can see the video. I'll have a link up top to that video that gives my first impressions of the overall service. But this was really the point to figure if I was going to continue on with the service for any amount of time. And I definitely have to say, going into it, that despite the first trailers that kind of had put me in a mixed bag on my level of anticipation of the show, actually seeing these first 3 episodes has greatly changed my perspective of what the show is and what they're trying to do with it. I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised. Some people might not have gotten over the whole trailer and the shock of the F Batman statement made by Robin, but really it has been a pleasant show. The pilot is kind of rough to get through because it's extra dark. I kind of feel like this was Warner Brothers and DC shot to kind of try to match the intensity of the darkness, of the grime and grittiness of like the Marvel Netflix series with that. But once you get past really the first half of the pilot episode, it really smooths out and finds its way from that point on in the next 2 episodes. Just to go over the cast real quick, we have Brendan Thwaites as Dick Grayson, Robin. We have Anna Diop as Starfire. We have Tegan Croft as Raven or Rachel Roth. We have Ryan Potter as Beast Boy. We have Alan Rickson as Hank Hall. We have Mika Kelly as Dawn Granger, and Lindsay Gort as Amy Robach. And the cast is very well rounded. I feel like in these first 3 episodes, I'm a huge Nightwing fan personally, Robin Nightwing fan, Dick Grayson fan, period. That first half, especially the first half of the pilot episode or the first episode, was kind of rough because it was just Brandon's portrayal of Dick Grayson and Robin just came out of nowhere. It was super dark. It just was nothing of what I expected from the character. And I was like, okay, did they pick the right guy to play the part? His portrayal of Dick Grayson and Robin definitely picks up in the later episodes, and you see it's a lot more, some mystery behind why he's so angry, why he's so particularly violent right now in this point of time. Like he's kind of got lost in the darkness and he's trying to find his way out. So it's a little bit of mystery like that. You're getting some flashbacks of him being young and Bruce taking him in. They're not shying away from that aspect of it at all. I don't know if we're ever going to officially see Batman in this first season. We do know that it was during New York Comic Con, I think it was announced that they were going to be getting a season 2. I think they've just finished shooting this first season, but it's broken up. It's released weekly. New episodes drop every Friday on the DC Universe service. So he's good. He's grown on me in the role of Robin. I never saw the later Pirates movies. He was like in one of the later Pirates movies. That's where I heard like he really became a name. So this is really my first time being familiar with Brandon Thwaites or whatever. But he's grown on me in the role, and he has the Dick Grayson characteristics. Like I said, the setup and the introduction of him is really rough, and I didn't like the way it was handled. But like I said, as the next 2 episodes go on, you see he has a better feel for the character, and it's more familiar to what we've known and read over the years of the comic book of the Dick Grayson character. So again, that's been good. I think the overall standout by far is Anna Diop as Starfire. She's just mesmerizing when she comes on screen. Her story is a mystery in itself. She wakes up, she has amnesia as her story has gone through. It's just been very interesting, and everybody was thrown off by, like her in the sequence dress and how it looks. It all weaves in. If at first it seems like it's not going to make any sense if you know anything about Starfire from the comics, but it's a somewhat different take, and she's a very capable actress, and she's totally BA. Like when the action kicks in and you start seeing her powers kick in, she's really good in the role, and I think she's going to be the breakout star, if any, so far. 3 episodes in, if I have to say, she's the breakout star from this show. They can do a lot with her. I'm really interested to see where the rest of the season is going to go. The one thing I could say that's a downside to this is that DC Universe, I think, made a mistake. I know they had their particular reasons for doing so, but I think it hurts the show, it being released weekly. This is a show, especially because there was a lot of negative press based off of when the trailer dropped, from when it was going to come out, how it was going to be handled, how it was going to play. I would love to have binged this and just do a review of the whole season for you guys. I think they were worried about people subscribing to the service. They give a free week trial, so if they gave the whole season away up front, people could have joined for the free week, then cancel the service. I get all that, but I think you have to have more faith in the content, and based on them doing it, weekly, it just comes off as that they weren't that confident in the show. And like I said, based on the initial trailers and then taking 3 weeks, I was going to review the first episode. I saw a good number of reviews of people reviewing the first episode. I didn't know if that was going to be enough to get a true vision and understanding to review, to recommend it to you guys or not. I think it's definitely worth getting the service for. This alone, again, I feel like it would have been better if it's not parceled out, because I don't know about you guys. I know I feel like when it's if I'm paying for a streaming service, though this is a hybrid type service. It's not just streaming. It's a lot of other things. But if I'm paying for a service like that is delving out original content, I want to be able to consume it. I'm having a problem now watching the other like comic book shows, because I've gotten so embedded into, excuse me, when a show comes out on Netflix, one of the Marvel shows, I'm going to binge it over a 3 or 4 day period, where I'm going to watch a huge chunk of it over normally 2 to 4 days, 4 being the most that I normally will watch that whole season. And it's over and it's done, and I can wait for the next show or the next season for it to come out, and I'm good. And I've gotten accustomed to consuming that kind of content in that way. So it's hard of watching, different comic book shows week in and week out, and there's so many of them. It starts becoming a slog to keep up with them all. It's, if you're watching a network show, it's like 22 episodes. I'm not sure if it's 16 or 22 episodes that this season's going to be right now. Like I said, I'm on board for the current time being. I didn't sign up yet for the yearly subscription. I really wanted to see how this show was going to go. I still have other issues with the overall service of the DC Universe, but this has definitely been, with the older content, as far as the animated material that they have on there that you have access to. These two are the main points of me keeping the service. I'm still month to month at this point. I feel like once a little bit more original content comes out, I think we don't get another new original content show till we get the Young Justice season, which I think comes the beginning of next year, January or February of next year. So right now we only have, Titans in the DC Daily Show, as far as regular occurring original content right now on the platform. But like I said, all in all, it's a pleasant surprise. Yes, it's a little bit darker at points. It's a little bit scarier, because they take some of the tropes of the individual characters and play them up. We've had the Teen Titans and even Teen Titans Go show where Raven, even though she's a child of basically Trigon, this is like the devil. She's never been presumed as really scary as far as visuals in the comic books. They do like a little horror element with it, and it's a lot of jump scares and stuff like that, and they work really well with the character. Tegan Croft, I didn't, in the first episode or so, I didn't really vibe with her being the Raven character. I feel like she's found her way as the episodes have gone on, and the writing has gotten better. And I'm digging her more. I see her as Raven and her transformation and dealing with everything she's going through. She's a really tragic character, and I think they make her way more likable, and you can sympathize with her a lot more than kind of, because she's so secluded, goth, emo, like in the comics, and very standoffish to people approaching her, because she knows everything. Like, she's discovering all this, and that's the cool part too. They're like part origin stories in a way of, this is not Raven fully aware of her powers and everything. This is Raven where, these things are just becoming aware to her, and she's trying to get a handle on it and trying to attach and relate to people, but scared because of what she feels that's growing inside her that is evil. So it makes her a very sympathetic character, and they blend the storyline that they've been having with her and Dick Grayson, and now bringing in Starfire in the mix, is really good. But they haven't came together as a whole team. It's been hinted that the newest episode that comes out this week, you'll finally see the whole team kind of together, which is going to be, will be cool. And they're introducing in this episode Doom Patrol, which is supposed to be another original series that spins out of this. So it's really interesting to see. This is also produced by Greg Berlanti and his, which the Berlanti verse or the Arrowverse from the CW, he's overseeing this as well. But he, again, it's definitely darker. This series is not for little kids, because it is some dark moments, violence, blood. So you wouldn't have little kids watching this, where maybe you would let them watch some of the stuff that comes on CW. This is a little bit more geared towards adults. So make sure little ones, you're not letting see, I guess this is like, I want to say like PG-13-ish type level violence and stuff that we're seeing on this show. So it's not for definitely for the little ones, but it's worth giving a try. I would say if you have not tried the DC Universe service as of yet, and you're curious about Titans, it's worth doing at least the 7-day free trial and check out whatever episodes you can, and let that be the determining factor. If, hey, I'm going to sign up, longer term, or pay, for a month's worth of service or 2 months. The show, like I said, has my interest. It has me going back every Friday, checking to see what happens next. But I just wish, like I said, we could just binge it like you mainly could do on other services. I mean, even Hulu, that did like Runaways last year, did a similar thing, but they changed it going into the second season. They announced they're going to make it bingeable. So I think that's the way to go with series like this. And I think it would have got a lot more positive press after people got past the initial, trailer reaction of the show, and were able to consume it and see it for what it really was, which so far has been a really good show, and it's kept my interest. So I definitely recommend it. If you have the time to sign up for the free trial, do so. Check it out. I think you'll like it. Let me know down in the comment section below. Have you watched Titans yet? What are your thoughts of it? Or maybe is this review helping you decide on, checking Titans out? I'm curious to know. Again, I normally put out content. I've been a little bit lacking lately. I've had some health issues that's kind of held me back from putting out content as consistently. Normally, I at least put out 1 to 2 videos a week. I do television reviews just like this one here. I'll have a link up top that you'll see to the playlist for the TV show reviews. I recently did one on Daredevil season 3 that you might want to check out. Also comic book reviews, trade paperback reviews, all of the sort. And I also have a series called the Comic Book Collector's Guide that is good for if you're new to the hobby of collecting comics, or even if you're a longtime collector. Just tips, tricks, and just different things, resources, and I feel that might be helpful to you in your journey in comic book collecting. All the links will be up top or in the description box below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Smash that like button. Also share the video as well, and leave comments. Definitely feedback is always appreciated from you guys on these videos and what you like, and maybe recommend down below what shows you would like for me to review next. I'm totally open to what you guys want to see, and I'll check it out and do a brief review just like I did this one. Again, I'm your host, James Harris. This is the Comic Books on My YouTube channel. I will see you guys next time for another episode. You take care and happy watching.